Alanna, of course, and me, with our little pal Brian Snitker. He, of course, manages the Braves, and he says hello. Boy, nothing better than an opening day. I know the back end of spring training gets a little dull, but now you're raring to go. You got the butterflies going, Snit. And the way we have it here, we start a long season. Let's start there first. Go ahead.
No, it's great. I mean, this is always a very exciting day. You know, we just had a great spring training. Our guys did such a great job. The weather was awesome. Now we come to Washington. It's a beautiful day, a little chill in the air, a lot of energy going on, and everybody's looking forward to tipping this season off.
Snit, it's such a great day because we get to see each team's ace. Max Fried is the definition of that for the Atlanta Braves. What are you most excited about when he takes the hill today against the Nats?
Oh, man, it's always a great conversation when I tell Maxie he's got the opening day start because, I mean, he's a true number one guy. And he's one of those guys that I feel like we're going to win the game every time he pitches. I mean, he's never satisfied. He's always continuing to try and better himself. It's just fun to see, I've been with him from the get-go, and to see his maturity and growth and where he's at as a major league pitcher has really been something special for me.
Brian, a lot of momentum for the sport. Good WBC. Everybody's all pumped up on the rules. You and I was lucky to talk to you during the spring training for the radio, and you said that you love the rules. I'm interested to see if you think there'd be any, slow adaptation to it by your players with the pitch clock, the stolen bases, and, of course, the shift as we get ready to start a season. Go ahead.
No, I don't think so. I think we did a great thing. I think when we opened the season in spring training, we started with the rules. And I think everybody, I applaud the players, everybody that they bought in. We're really working hard to make this work because I think we've seen it will work. And I'm sure there'll still be some growing pains. But by and large, I think we saw with the times of the spring training games that this thing will work. And you know what? The single is back. So I think as long as we use common sense throughout the whole thing, it'll be a really good thing.
We didn't expect Michael Soroka to make the opening day roster, obviously, but it was so nice to see him back on a big league mound. Yeah. I know that he had to stay back. He needs to be stretched out. What is the timetable in your mind, Snit, to get him back up with the big club and perhaps back in that rotation?
I don't know that, Alanna, we have an absolute timetable. I think we feel really good about where Mike is right now because the day he threw in Lakeland, the stuff was real. I mean, he just is rusty. He just needs to, like you say, get built up. We can control that a lot better in the minor leagues because we're going to need this guy before the year's over. But we're all excited, I think, including Mike, of where he's at right now and how he feels. So, you know what? We're just going to take it an outing at a time, and I don't think put any restrictions on ourselves as to when he's got to get here. So, we'll just let this whole thing play out and do what's best for the individual. And
on the subject of that, good job by Alanna there with Soroka. How about Grissom? That ought to be a tough conversation, sending him back to the minor leagues. Maybe it's temporary. Give me a little run. He played in the big leagues last year. Now he's got to start there in minor leagues. Give me some thoughts on that. Go ahead.
No, it's always a tough conversation with everybody. I mean, guys, they work hard, and Vaughn is one of those kids. He's a baseball rat. He loves to work. He enjoys the game. He's got tons of energy for it. But I kind of like organizationally, we feel as many reps as we can give these guys in the minor leagues, it's going to be more productive for them. We saw what happened to Kyle Wright 2 years ago when he had consistent starts in AAA and then ended up coming in helping us win a big World Series game, and then followed up by 21 wins last year. As much time as Vaughn and Shoemake and all those kind of guys can get, the better they're going to be down the road.
And I remember you saying it was the best thing that could have ever happened to Kyle Wright. You have to know that it's going to take more than the 26 men on the roster, but you also have to know, Snit, that you've got to love the fact that, barring any injury, you get Ozzie Albies, Ronald Acuna Jr., and Michael Harris II for the entire season. That's got to make you feel good.
Really good. I mean, and all three of those guys had really nice spring trainings. But just to have a healthy Ronald Acuna and Ozzie, and because those two guys were such a big part of our team for so long, that having them have normal off seasons and come into camp strong, and Michael Harris is, he hasn't slowed down one bit from coming off his Rookie of the Year campaign. So we're excited. I get excited. We have nice young players on our team, and they're very skilled. They're great guys. They're about the team first, and that's all really good things and exciting when you have your young players they're making their mark in the major leagues.
I know New Yorkers will not like the idea that the Mets don't play the Braves after August 23rd, but you do like the idea, Brian, of the balanced schedule. You like visiting all the teams. You don't have any problem with the travel. You think it's a good idea. We talked about that, too. Take it away.
Yeah, no, I do. I think it's great. I'm excited about playing everybody. I think, I'd like to go to some different cities. I like to see all these young superstars that are playing our game now and compete against everybody. So I think it's going to be a really good thing. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I've spent so much time on a bus in my career. I'm never going to about flying somewhere, I'll tell you that. The travel's not that bad here. So I just remember all those times trying to peel my body and get it going after 12 hours on a bus. So you're not going to hear me about travel.
Good job.
Amen. Yes, Snit, we know about Max Fried. We know about Charlie Morton. We're getting to know Spencer Strider a little bit more, but you have two young guys that we're going to get to know this season. What more can you tell us about Jared Shuster and Dylan Dodd?
Yeah, you know what? It's just two guys that I saw very briefly in spring training last year. And Shuster, I didn't even know who Dylan Dodd was until I got spring training and saw him throw a live batting practice against our major league guys, and just how he composed himself, how he handled himself all spring, both of them. And again, that's another one of those exciting things when you have your players that you drafted and developed, and it's an exciting time when they come in and they force your hand. I mean, both of these young men forced our hand. All we had was the spring training look, but Jared Shuster has come a long way from what I remembered last year. Dylan Dodd, the poise, the pitches, they throw strikes. It's like, God, what a refreshing thing to have guys, if they get whacked around, they get right back in the strike zone with stuff and a little moxie about them. So I'm excited about watching them go too.
You know the old adage, you can't win a pennant in April, but you can lose one. So you like to get off to a good start. There's Brian Snitker today, maybe in about a half hour after this. Give your guys a little pep talk? Do you give them a little speech before the opener, or you leave it alone? Let me hear.
You know what? I'm talked out, man. I talked to the guys before we left spring training because I knew the next few days after we left it was going to be hectic. These guys don't need me. They know what I trust them. They know what they have to do. They have a winning history here. They're young, battle-tested guys right now. They've been through the wars at a young age and been through a lot of things. They know what it takes to win, and I put all my trust in that group of guys I have in that clubhouse.
You talk about trust, and I think about Matt Olson when you talk about trust, because this is a guy that comes to you under some pressure, obviously, trying to replace a Freddie Freeman, which he can't. But that being said, I think he's made some adjustments in the offseason with his swing and his stance. What have you seen from him, Snit?
No, yeah, he has. I mean, I know he went to work, and I was looking at the parallels the other day, and there is a difference. He had an unbelievable spring training. I think the world of Matt Olson, just everything and all the balls he had in the air last year, and to have the kind of year that he did under those circumstances just shows you what kind of guy he is. Makeup is off the charts. He's another one that's never satisfied. He's always going to try and get an edge. He's going to try to improve, and I think he did that with a lot of the changes that he's shown this spring.
We will check in, I am sure. Keep the phone on. Nice job. Good luck. Knock him dead this first day.
All right. Thank you, guys. Enjoy it. Happy opening day.